Hello, all you beautiful beings, and welcome to episode 6 of the Intersectionality and Veganism series. This episode is kind of personal. I'll be talking about the rampant ableism and pseudoscience spread around within the vegan movement and community. But first, I want to talk about my own experience as a vegan with chronic mental illness. I was first diagnosed with major depression and anxiety when I was 16 years old. At first, my parents, my teachers, and other adults around me thought it was just typical teenage moodiness, since I'd always been a pretty emotional person anyway. So when I was officially diagnosed, I was put on several medications, and at my mother's suggestion, I began to eat meat again. Even though I wasn't a vegan, I was a vegetarian, but I wasn't really eating a balanced diet either way. And I always felt like a burden to my friends, my family, and those around me because of my illness, and I frequently got snap out of it and stop feeling sorry for yourself kind of comments, especially from, my family. And I don't count this as them being mean or harsh or just trying to stick it to me. It's an illness, just like any other illness, that if a person in your family has it, it affects that person, it affects everyone else around them. Everyone just did the best they could. My college years and early 20s didn't see much improvement. I still had pretty terrible days and found taking a cocktail of medications burdensome and not helpful. And I began it's kind of hard to talk about, my fairly recent relationship with self-injury. Taking classes to finish my diploma and commuting back and forth between my part-time job, counseling sessions, doctor visits, and my university, which was a county away, didn't really help. And when I was 26, as per the healthcare laws in the United States, I aged out of my parents' insurance and I wasn't able to get health insurance through my job, and I had to stop taking my meds. It wasn't until I graduated from college in my late 20s that I could really get the help I needed. I did get health insurance eventually, and I was able to start seeing a new counselor, a new nurse practitioner, and was prescribed medication that actually worked much better. I'm currently taking only one pill instead of 2 or 3. I certainly don't want to discount the health benefits of eating more healthy foods. I did start eating more healthfully after college, since I had more time to cook and didn't have to live on just soda, avocado rolls, and cheeseless Taco Bell bean burritos. And eating more healthily did benefit my health. Yes, despite the presence of misinformation about vegan and vegetarian diets contributing to depression, which I think are, as I understand, are concerns about deficiencies in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and the amino acid tryptophan, all of which are available in plant foods. I've seen an improvement with my mental health when eating a balanced vegan diet and supplementing when appropriate. In my case, it's B12 and vitamin D. But I don't feel like this alone was enough to properly treat my illness. I still have depression, still have anxiety. These are still illnesses that require your actual medical treatment. Unfortunately, a number of my fellow vegans disagree with me. There seems to be a mindset within a number of circles within the vegan community that veganism, or at least eating a whole foods plant-based vegan diet, is guaranteed prevention against illness. This mindset is false, and it's potentially dangerous. Ableism is described as a set of practices and beliefs that assign inferior value or worth to people who have developmental, emotional, physical, or psychiatric disabilities. Pseudoscience is described as any belief system or methodology which tries to gain legitimacy by wearing the trappings of science, but fails to abide by the rigorous methodology and standards of evidence that are the marks of true science. I see these constantly from people within the vegan community, and it's especially personal to me, since one of the most common ways ableism and pseudoscience come together is when people with large social media followings, yet no professional training, say things like this.
All the time, but if your disposition in general, long term, if over the course of years you're a sad person, there's no one else who can do anything about that but you. No, a doctor can't give you drugs to make you happy. A happy pill. You wouldn't want one if they had one, man. I guess antidepressants are kind of happy pills, but really what they're meant to do is just, obviously in the name, as the name says, counteract being a sad cunt. They're not gonna make you happy, but it's not happiness, man, if you didn't fucking earn it and you didn't make it yourself, dude. But here's what I want to say about just taking that empowering position, that empowering state. So the choice to say that it's a choice. That's a choice. You can say it's a choice, or you can choose to say I have no choice. Both are choices, options for you to pick. Which is it going to be? Are you going to choose to believe you have the power, or are you going to choose to believe you don't have the power? It's like people tell me, oh, you know, good at Guitar Hero. My friends used to say, you're bad at Guitar Hero. I don't train at Guitar Hero, man. You guys in here playing Guitar Hero? I'm out there building rails and dropping ramps and snowboard jumps. And where are you? Playing Guitar Hero. So you're better at it than me. Get this. I had a kid one time tell me on Xbox Live, you've probably already reached your genetic potential in Halo. Some people, no matter how much they play, they just don't get any better. He was telling me I would never be as good as him because he was genetically better at Halo 2 than me. Okay? Like, bro, you play Halo so much more than I do. Maybe you're better at it, but if I trained twice as much as you, there's no way that I would still be worse than you. That's completely bullshit. That's stupid. I don't want to play that much, but like, think about it, man. Who's gonna choose that disempowering view?
Doesn't matter how much fucking money and fame you got, it won't fucking make you happy. It won't make you happy. Money and fame can't buy happiness, man. It's just a choice in the moment. Robin Williams is one of the most funniest fuckers around. But he wasn't happy. Why? Because he chose not to be happy. Happiness is a choice in the moment, man. Happiness is a fucking choice.
Remember, there is never enough money, enough love, enough respect, enough forgiveness. You'll always need more. Even though no one wants to hear your whinging bullshit except other losers, make sure you corner your favourite shoulder to cry on, and don't let them say a word for the next 2 hours. On the outside they will nod and ooh and ah, but on the inside they want to just slap your face into reality.
You know, I try so hard, I bust my ass at my job, and I just get yelled at. Every day, it's something new. You know, Tuesday I just sat at home and turned off my phone and binged and purged all day, and I didn't give a shit about anybody or anything else. And I didn't give a shit about anybody or anything else. And I didn't give a shit about anybody or anything else. And Josh got all mad at me because I didn't come up and talk to him. And then he starts yelling at me Wednesday.
I think you guys get the point. I won't get into problems with approaching mental illness with this happiness is a choice mentality, but I will include articles in the description, links to them that put it much better than I can. I will say that statements like this don't really help the stigma attached to mental illness and can make those suffering hesitant to get the help they really need. Also, in the United States at least, pharmaceutical drugs, including those taken for mental illnesses, are required by law to be tested on animals, and many contain animal ingredients such as gelatin and lactose. I don't believe the answer to the problem of vivisection and animal exploitation is for people to stop taking medicine that helps them function daily and stay healthy. I've experienced life off medication, and I see that I do much better on it. I can advocate for causes I care about, including justice for animals, more effectively. Emily of Bite Size Vegan actually has a very good video about veganism and medication on her channel that I will link below, and I recommend you watching. As far as taking medication for mental illness and other illness, all I'll say is talk to your doctor and go over your options. Do what works best for you. Unfortunately, ableism and pseudoscience within the vegan community don't just stop at mental illness.
Found out he got cancer, and the one from just a few days ago where he thought it was gone and it had come back. So, I felt for you, had a lot of compassion for you, seeing this plight, this horrible ordeal you're having to go through. And I saw Vegan Gains' video, I can't lie, and it was pretty harsh, and probably not the way that you, Pete, if you happen to see this, would be most receptive to hearing the vegan message. So that's why I'm making this video. I'm really hoping this will get to you, and you'll hear a different vegan's perspective on your situation, and maybe this will open your mind up to at least just trying a vegan diet to help your cancer. When I found out that Pete was just 29 years old and already having to deal with these issues of cancer and surgery and cancer coming back, that's where I wanted to make this video. It really touched me that you're having to deal with so much at such a young age. And also something I didn't know about you was that you are a competitive eater. You have a Guinness record for eating 15 hamburgers in 10 minutes. And I saw another one eating a 72-ounce steak in 6 minutes and 48 seconds. And other challenges were eating tons of bacon and tons of butter. You know, not the healthiest foods to be consuming in general, just for a normal person, the quantities that they eat. But to eat these foods in such, horrific quantities, it makes me think that possibly that might not be the healthiest diet to be following. Well, why do I say that? Well, let's take a look at some of the most basic, essential facts about cancer. Strangely, these are basic facts that most people aren't aware of, and many doctors are not either. But what's the number one cause of cancer, and is cancer preventable?
Diet is the number one cause of cancer. Cancer is therefore a preventable disease, but it does require major lifestyle changes.
Diet's the number one cause, and therefore cancer is preventable. I know I see a lot of doubters out there say, hey, but it's in our genes. Well, how much of a factor is genetics when it comes to cancer?
Only 5 to 10% of cancer is in our genes, our family history. The other 90 to 95% of cancer risk is caused by what we expose our bodies to.
So yeah, genetics barely a factor. 90 to 95% of our cancer risk is due to what comes into our bodies.
So after Freely the Banana Girl made a video about the first time Furious Pete got cancer and how it could have potentially been prevented and treated through diet, Furious Pete decided to file a fallacious copyright claim to prevent anyone from learning that cancer is a preventable illness that is caused by animal products and can be treated through a whole foods vegan diet. Because imagine how horrible that would be if people could just go on YouTube and present medical facts as to why animal products are harmful to our own health, along with being unethical and cruel. Well, Pete and his dumb bitch girlfriend don't seem to like that idea, but fortunately Freely's video is still up on her channel. But after several months, Pete decided to file a fallacious copyright claim against me because, in Pete's mind, torturing and killing animals is okay, but educating people to the fact that eating animals is both unhealthy and cruel just isn't acceptable. But fortunately for all of us, but not Pete, it doesn't matter if you disagree with science because science will always be correct. And it seems I was correct because Pete got cancer again. Oh, so sad. And before you all start calling me a sociopath as some sort of attempt to insult me, how about you consider the fact that Furious Pete makes fun of the suffering and death of the animals he eats on a daily basis. So I don't see why I shouldn't make a joke about his suffering and death. So who would like a "haha, you're gonna die of cancer" t-shirt? Yeah, so basically the vast majority of the medical literature demonstrates that animal products cause cancer, but Pete decided to keep eating meat, dairy, and eggs anyway. Maybe he forgot about all that because he blocked my video worldwide?
January, and as soon as I came onto the lifestyle, like within the first month, I lost my period. It was gone, and I was like, yes, get out of here. I don't want to see you ever again. Don't come back down here. That's how I was, because I was so excited to get rid of it, because I'm coming from this past of heavy period, pain, discomfort, depression associated with my menstrual flow, because I'm eating animal products and I'm eating junk food and everything like that. So I was very, very happy. So the period went away for 9 months, and then I fell off the wagon. Fell off the wagon back into high-fat vegan food, and my period came back. So was it that brought my period back? Well, it's hard to say, because at the same time, I actually got with Harley June Rider, and that can also affect your hormonal levels a lot. So I'm not 100% sure why it came back, but it came back, and I went back onto 100% raw vegan, and it came back lightly. So initially it was heavy from the high fat, and then it went light. And light as in about half a cup of a menstrual cup of blood each day for a couple of days, and then the third day it was basically gone. So I was only having a period for like 3 days, and that's how it was for years and years and years. And it was great. I didn't know when it was coming because it was so, painless. When it was there, I hardly even knew I had it. It was fantastic. So rewind back to, why I lost my period in the first place, I think because I was coming from taking a contraceptive pill for 7 years. Every day for 7 years, so my hormonal levels were quite crazy. So what I feel is that my period, when I took out the meat and dairy and the junk food, my body finally had the energy, the vitality to start cleaning house, to start balancing out my hormones. And a lot of people are like, oh, but that's unhealthy. No, you need your period. What's going on? That's terrible. But is it? Well, a lot of people don't know. And all I can go on is my instincts and my feeling at the time that it felt good. It felt right, and at the time, I think it needed to happen for my body to balance out. One thing that is really, really important is to find out if you do lose your period, are you still ovulating? And for some reason, I just instinctively felt like I was still ovulating because I felt so good. And that's another thing. If it's so unhealthy to, for me to go through that period of not having my period, then why did I feel so amazing? Why was everything starting to look amazing? My skin, my hair, everything was starting to really, really balance out. So is it healthy long-term to not have a period? Well, there's a lot of different opinions on this, and I don't claim to have all the answers. I can only share my own experience. What I do believe is healthy is a light flow, and that's what has been observed in primates and nature. So that light flow, mega light, and not painful. I always thought when I was young, I'm like, why is this so painful? Why did God, why did nature inflict this awful pain on us females every month? It doesn't seem right. That's what my intuition said, even from a very young age. And I still believe that largely menstruation is toxicity leaving the body. So a lot of people are having a lot of women are having heavy periods and painful periods because they have a toxic body or they have a toxic diet. And the body's trying to eliminate that toxicity and get it out. Because I used to have blood clots, clots of blood I used to pass with my menstruation, and that it was a lot to do with fat. So another thing is, if you're having a high-fat diet, okay, if you're having a high-fat diet, then your menstruation is definitely going to be heavier and more painful. This is what I've experienced whenever I've increased the amount of fat in my diet, even on a 100% raw food diet. So you must keep the fat low if you want a light flow and if you want pain-free periods. So there's also amenorrhea, which is low body fat when women lose their period due to low body fat. Is that healthy? I don't 100% know, but usually it happens to women who, are exercising excessively or starving themselves, so generally not. At the end of the day, if you're having a heavy period, if you're having a painful period, then get on a 100% high carb, raw vegan diet as soon as you can. Cooked vegan, a high carb cooked vegan diet is good. It is not the best though. But 100% high carb, low fat.
In all honesty, there are no health guarantees with being vegan no matter how you eat as a vegan. This is not a reason to not be vegan, but it is something to be aware of as advocates and for those new to veganism to keep in mind. Pretending that there are health guarantees or giving out other misinformation like we've seen here is irresponsible, potentially dangerous, and ultimately not good for the movement. That's not to say that we should not praise the health benefits of whole plant foods and things like staying hydrated and exercising, but we can't act as though veganism has all the answers. That's all for this video, and as always, peace and love.